Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews, and we're back with another episode of this limited series called Maniac on Netflix, starring Jonah Hill and Emma Stone. And if you've seen my first two reviews, sorry about the first one. Second one I just put out, amazing episode. Episode 3 is another pretty damn good episode. So full spoilers ahead for this episode. It's episode 3. It's called Having a Day. And damn, like it's just it just keeps on rolling. It's maybe not as emotionally impactful as the last episode, but still pretty damn good. Few things. The actress that I was talking about last episode from Moonlighting is named Alice Beasley. I'm not trusting my IMDb because she is not credited for this show, but that's who that is. So let's just jump into this. So like they took the pill, they were supposed to be coming out of it, and what we see is that Jonah Hill didn't take the pill. he's like awake, and he has to fake that he's been unconscious this whole time. He even flicks the pill to hide it, not very well, not really thinking that far ahead. So they're all coming out of it, they all kind of get talked to, and their data that pops out has them separated. So you've got Emma Stone, Jonah Hill's character, Annie and Owen, and the other guy, the big guy, he reminds me of this one guy from the movie Black Hawk Down who gets his head blown off really early in that movie, yeah. But again, connections, and I get off topic pretty easily sometimes. Well, he tells them that we've been flagged, and that he does these trials all the time, and that when they red flag you, you usually go in there and they kick you out, you don't make any money, but he does it so often that he doesn't get caught all the time. While on the other side, the other two are in denial. I do love the fact that the guy that's not in denial, not worried, is the guy who is probably getting kicked out for sure, and he's just more like, yeah, whatever. While they've got their own reasons to lie, and they just kind of don't realize that they're caught already. He, on the other hand, just brought condoms, and so he shouldn't be the one worried. Like he shouldn't be getting kicked out because he has condoms. So they go in, one at a time, where they talk to the Dr. Dr. Muramoto, who is pretty good in this role. I was wrong. He was not freebasing. He wasn't taking coke. He was freebasing pill A and pill C. We find out later, coming up soon, why that's important. So he's going over the data, and he tells Jonah Hill flat out, like, our data says that you didn't even take the pill. You weren't even under. So, because he's just lying. I love that, when they're describing their experience to the camera, he's clearly just, I wouldn't believe him. Even if I didn't have proof, data in front of me, like, I don't think he took that pill. Emma Stone, they tell by her data that she's been taking the pill for a long time, and so when they interview her, she just wants to know what the next pill's like. And so when confronted with this by the doctor, he just makes up a terrible story, which is even worse. Okay, so well, he doesn't make it up. And that's the thing. Did it happen? Or is this just Jonah Hill's life? Which I have a feeling it is just Jonah Hill's life. It just kind of feels like he's what if Ben Stiller movies were really tragic? He's that poor guy that just is always like, in every Ben Stiller movie, I don't know why I'm talking about this, but I'm trying to draw some sort of comparison. Every Ben Stiller movie from the late 90s to the mid 2000s, he's always just that put upon guy where just bad shit just keeps happening to him. It's just his life. People shit on him. His family sucks. He's always being everything he does is taken the wrong way. And I just kind of feel like that's kind of like Jonah Hill's life. Like he's living this terrible, his family doesn't take him serious, they just butt of the jokes. It's just kind of his life. It's like a really dark Ben Stiller movie. I don't know. So he tells this story. It's because this drug is supposed to bring up your worst memories. And so he tells this story because try to convince this guy that this was like the worst day of his life. And if it's true, which I do believe it is, it is pretty goddamn bad. What I find it interesting is that they filmed this scene, the scene that he didn't experience on the drug, he just experienced in real life. Later, when he talks, when he actually is forced to take the pill, which, spoilers, like I said, if you haven't seen this, it's funny that they didn't film that scene, and that scene sounds crazy great. Like, I want to see that scene. But there's kind of an interesting way to do it. So he tells this story about his brothers having, an engagement party. And his brother, played by Billy Magnuson. Now, first off, Billy Magnuson, I would like to talk directly to you, Billy. I know you'll never see this, but you have pretty much cornered the market on asshole characters these days. If you've ever watched a Billy Magnuson movie, dude, you're really great at playing assholes. Get out while you can before they typecast you, because, oh, look, you've been there and you've done that. You are a good actor. Try doing something else than being the complete fucking prick that you are in everything. And in this, he is the same. And he's just awful. He's such an awful person in this, hiding as a decent person, and not really convincingly to anybody, but maybe a few of those people around him. And maybe even then, not really. Maybe everybody is just kind of hiding their contempt or realization of how bad he is just under the surface. Because he's talking to his brother about, the thing that he didn't do, but that he wants his brother to cover for him for. And when his brother starts to kind of act like maybe he won't lie for him, his brother just goes on the offensive about, hey, it'd be a real shame to if somebody found out about, making threats to people and putting to the government, and to, throwing his kind of mental illness in his face, we'll put some anthrax in the letter and everything, and just terrible, terrible thing to say to your family member. And the way he's just like, I'm joking, but I'm not joking. But come on, I love you, but man, we could do this to you, but hey, buddy, I love you so much, but no, really, don't fucking, he's a great actor, man, you really hate his guts. And you can just tell, Jonah Hill just fucking hates this guy too. But he seems to be, the family just kind of doesn't do anything about it. And it seems like they do love Owen. I don't know if they don't understand him. He's different than the rest of them. And not just because he's got some mental issues. So then his brother does this, Gabriel Byrne's playing the piano, and he's hit at that. To Adelaide, his fiance, played by the girl from one of the actresses from Girls. He starts singing Sting's "Every Breath" or "I'll Be Watching You." Whatever. Do people still do that? Do people still do that? Where they turn to their fiance and sing a song? That is really, maybe it's just because I've never been in love with somebody that hard where I want to turn to them in front of a whole bunch of people and sing. But in this case of it seems just kind of creepy, him doing it, and she clearly is not just embarrassed, but it feels really uncomfortable for her. And from episode 1, it feels like she really doesn't want to be in this relationship. So there's got to be more going on here or maybe she does. I don't know. But just first impressions, she doesn't seem too happy to be a part of this family. And from what Billy says, or what he says to Jonah Hill, you like her, don't you? He's messing with him. Because he knows that his brother's attracted to his fiance, but whatever, she's a beautiful girl. And when he starts singing, that's it for Jonah Hill. That's it for Owen. He just leaves and goes up to the roof. And so while they're singing, he just drops off the roof and hits the glass ceiling above where he's singing. And it's boom. Now, I'm thinking that he was trying to kill himself and thought he would go through the glass and just right there on top of his brother while he's singing. I think he wanted to go out like that. I think he wanted to just kill him and take his like maybe take his brother out on the way down, like maybe crush him. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I feel like that had to be that had to be his reasoning. Like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna ruin his fucking wedding, you know. But he hits the glass and he lives, and that's even like, if you've ever talked to somebody who tried to commit suicide in a fashion, I've known people who have done pretty crazy things and lived while they were trying to kill themselves, and believe me, it ain't easy living that shit down. And so that's the memory that he tells the doctor that happened to him. And then the doctor loses it. The actor, by the way, that plays the doctor, he's been on other things where he's like survived a Japanese game show. So when he gets all loud and stuff at him, like, it's perfectly cast. You believe that, you know, this guy goes off. So he makes him take the pill. And then we don't know how much time goes by, but then Emma Stone goes into the office after Jonah Hill, Owen comes out. It's hard to, like, I keep switching between Jonah and Owen and Annie and Emma. It's hard to, like, you know, branch out or differentiate sometimes. So she goes in there and he tells her, you've been taking this drug a long time. And you know, he tells her that, you know, the temptation, you know, is very seductive to go back into these terrible memories. And she is listening, and she is taking what he says to heart. Talking about how these people, they may see recovery, but they always go back to the drug. And when she tries to say why, he basically, it's like he has an aneurysm and dies. Right there. I love her reaction because she thinks it's all bullshit. She thinks it's just another test. And it goes on, that pause of her just, like, sitting there, not, you know, because the phone's ringing and everything. And I love how, like, uncomfortable it gets before she finally goes, oh shit, you're really dead. And so she gets Owen in there to help her out, to, like, so she starts, like, covering up, you know, he's like, did you kill her? No, I didn't fucking kill him, you know. And so she starts trying to cover the tracks, like he was going to kick them out. So she starts changing his paperwork, and in the middle of this, she asks him, you know, well, what did he see on the pill? And then he tells a story that I can't believe they didn't film this, but in a way I kind of respect that they didn't. I just really want to see it. Is that through his mental illness, he thought he's got this girl that he likes, and this version of his brother is the first time it pops up. The one that we saw in episode 1. He calls him like Grissom or something like that. And tells him to watch her. And so this delusion that he has convinces him to think that she's been like a paid actress, paid to like him, paid to be in a relationship with him, that they're all laughing at him behind his back, and how eventually it ends, you know, with him exploding on her and, you know, saying all these terrible things to her because it's just he has like a psychotic break, and that's basically like his worst day, and so they cover up their tracks so that they're still in the trial. They just leave. They don't tell anybody that he's dead, and they go back to, like, their routine. I like that they're in the cubicles. Alice Beasley's character's reading Black Beauty, and she's just like, when is this fucking horse gonna die? And I love that because it's like she's reading the book just to see a horse die, is what I'm thinking. Like, she's like she might be like, have one of these, like, her tick might be that she likes to read books like Old Yeller or something just so that she can get to the part where the animal dies. I don't know. But so they finally find the doctor's body, and this is where they have to go reach out to another doctor. So first, the Dr. Fujita, who is played by Sonoya Mizuno, another great actress. She's got a great pedigree. She was in Ex Machina. She was in Annihilation. So she's been in some pretty decent movies. And so she has to go to the 77th floor where she's talking to a television set that tells her, you know, like, is the trial compromised and that they have to find a new doctor. And this is where they have to reach out to Justin Theroux's character that was in the film strip. And I'm just so happy that he's back on the show already. His name is James Mantle Ray, Dr. James Mantle Ray. When they go to find Mr. James Mantle Ray, well, really quickly, I want to talk about the computer. The computer that they keep talking to is controlling, I guess, the like some of this trial. And I believe that whatever went wrong has to do with this computer. And that comes up in being important later. So they go to find, she goes to find Dr. Mantle Ray, who is in a virtual simulation, a virtual sex simulation. It's like, you know, tentacle hentai with the crazy anime hair. And he's banging this like purple tentacle woman. And when the doctor just comes in on him, and he's sitting in his chair with a thing on his junk called a suck pod, I believe. So he's got this like low-tech looking vacuum cleaner type thing on his dick that's like simulating sex, while he's got these like two like things in his hand, and it's just so funny. And he just like, because he stands up and he's just got this thing on through the whole scene. He's got this fucking thing on his junk, and it's kind of hard to take it seriously because she comes in to like tell him like, hey, you know, it's a serious discussion they're trying to have, but it's hard to take it seriously when he's got this going on. And, you know, telling him you're going to take over the project, and he's like, yeah, like, you're messing with me, right? Like, you know, and all this ridiculousness. He's like, you know, getting his wig back on because he's balding. And they go, you know, he tells her, oh, I have to get my affairs in order. He's like walking around and knocking things over with this like suck pot on his dick. And she's looking around, and here again, another high-tech, low-tech thing where he's in this like crazy virtual simulation, but it's all on like floppy disks. And his like thing that he's reading was like Fucklantis or something like that. It's just great. This show is freaking amazing. So they go back to the lab where they're sitting around the dinner table. And I want to just say something about that dinner table. It looks so much like the table from Alien, where they were all sitting at in that movie. Just a small detail. I don't know if they kind of took, you know, that's a little homage or anything, but it just seemed very much like that. The speech that Justin Theroux gives is such like pulling, every word coming out of his mouth is like he's pulling it out of his ass, to where he even takes the name of that Fucklantis and calls it Mindlantis, and Jonah Hill starts clapping, and then they all start clapping. It's just great. And it looks like Dr. God damn, there's like so many things to remember. Dr. Fujita, she looks like she's trying not to laugh while she's listening to him pull this shit out of his ass. So, and I'm hoping I'm not really forgetting anything here, but like there is like a moment between Owen and Annie. But then they're supposed to take the B pill coming up here. And then first, Dr. Mantle Ray tells the computer that that other doctor died. And is he going to show, like, are you going to let me see your face? And part of me was going, is there somebody behind there? Like, is this thing just, again, high-tech, low-tech thing, or is it just this panel with a bunch of bells, and like it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, where like there's just, you know, you don't want to see what's, you know, the man behind the curtain or the woman behind the curtain or whoever. Like, it kind of made me think that, is there even anybody there? Is there somebody actually there and not a computer? But what we see is, as they're all going to sleep, the little digital face comes on the computer and has this like digital tear come out and go all the way to the wiring, and somehow in that it causes a glob of like some sort of like, I don't know, like little like, I don't know how to describe it, like some sort of like tear made out of like, I don't know, something in the electronics that when they turn it on later, it causes a short, or it like goes and it smokes. So again, I think that this computer, which I guess is some sort of artificial intelligence, is now already having a glitch because of what happened with the other doctor when it hears that. And so they've taken the blue pill, or the B pill, the blue pill, Jesus. And they go under, and this is where it's taking place in this little part of their drug trip is in the 80s. It's clearly Jonah Hill has a mullet and a Buffalo Bills jersey with Warren Moon on the back, and she's got her best, like, I don't know, like blonde permanent going on, and that's where the episode ends. I am 100% certain that I am forgetting a couple of small details. Hopefully I will remember that and bring it up in the next video if I have to. But again, just another great episode. I really still want to know more about like what happened with Jonah Hill. I want to know more about his delusion that he sees. I want to hear more about his background. I want to hear more about all of this stuff, but and all this stuff that's in the trailers and stuff where they show him like in fantasy lands and stuff like that. That's all well and good and all interesting, but I find just their lives just as exciting as the fantasy. So I'm fascinated. This is an unbelievable show so far. I hope everybody's watching this, and that's about it. I'm not going to watch another episode. I don't want to binge through this. I want to take my time. So I'll probably have another couple episodes up tomorrow, and then another couple episodes up on Sunday. I'm going to take my time with this. I'm not going to burn through this. I know that there are going to be plenty of people that are going to binge through this and try to do whole seasons, but I feel like I'm sick and tired of doing that. I want to be able to take my time with shows that I'm into, and I don't want to speed through it and screw it up. So anyway, if you liked this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications, all that jazz. And that's about it. So this is Robin Smirking Gun Review saying I hope you like this video. Thanks for all the support that everybody's been giving me. I appreciate all the comments I get, even the negative ones sometimes. And that's it. So we'll see you on the next episode, and have a great night. Bye.